If I told you there is one food, just one, that could begin restoring the strength in your legs in as little as 12 hours, would you believe me? Not a new medication. Not a revolutionary surgery. Not some fitness trend. A food. A food so precise in its action that within half a day, your muscle cells begin to stir. Mitochondria awaken. Neuromuscular connections spark like quiet lightning, and suddenly, your legs don't feel quite so heavy when you rise from a chair. You may think this is an exaggeration. It's not. It's science. And it's happening now. In my years as a physician, I've come to believe that some of the most powerful medicine we have does not come from a pharmacy. It comes from our plate. Especially when it's timed right, combined wisely, and chosen with purpose. For older adults, those in their 60s, 70s, 80s and beyond, there's a quiet epidemic unfolding. It's not just muscle loss. It's the loss of something deeper: autonomy, confidence, the power to move through life unassisted. Leg weakness isn't just about wobbliness. It's about identity. And this one food can help reclaim it. Now, let's begin with the forgotten truth: most leg weakness in aging isn't caused by age. Not directly. It's caused by disconnection between brain and muscle, between nutrient and need, between intention and action. And the good news is, that connection can be rebuilt. Quickly. Think about it. You don't forget how to walk. But if the nerves stop speaking clearly to the muscles, your steps become hesitant. It's not your will that fails, it's the signal. And just like static on a phone line, we can clear the interference. In 2023, the Journal of Clinical Nutrition published a study that shocked even seasoned clinicians. Older adults over age 50 who consumed a specific nutrient-rich food in the evening experienced measurable improvements in neuromuscular repair by morning. Let that sink in: not weeks, not months, just one night. Their mitochondria, the energy generators in muscle cells, ramped up. Protein synthesis accelerated. Muscles, especially in the legs, began to respond with strength. Not from exertion. From nourishment. You see, the legs are often the first to go. And when they weaken, everything changes. Getting out of bed. Climbing stairs. Even holding yourself steady when your balance is tested. I've seen it countless times. Patients who once hiked hills now struggle to stand for 5 minutes. They say, it's just aging. But I gently correct them. No, it's undernourished biology. Because here's the truth no one told you: muscle loss is not inevitable. Inflammation, poor circulation, and circadian disruption, these are the real culprits. You can be 80 and strong. Or 65 and frail. It's not your birthday that decides. It's your biology. And what you feed that biology matters. Timing matters. And some foods don't just fill you up, they wake your body up. One of the most important elements in this awakening is a single amino acid called leucine. Now, I don't expect you to remember biochemical names, but please remember this one: leucine is the ignition key for muscle rebuilding. When leucine enters your bloodstream after a meal, it tells your body loud and clear it's time to grow, repair, and activate muscle fibers. Leucine is what turns the metaphorical lights on in muscle cells. Without it, even if you eat a high-protein meal, your body might not know what to do with it. That's why so many older adults eat meat or eggs and still feel weak. It's not just what you eat, it's how much leucine you get, and when you get it. And this brings us back to the food. Whey protein. Specifically, whey protein isolate. Not a fad. Not just for bodybuilders. But a clinically studied, neurologically active, fast-digesting protein source that contains the ideal amount of leucine to flip that muscle growth switch, especially in seniors, whose muscles have become more resistant to these growth signals over time. In fact, studies show that a single dose of whey protein, taken in the morning or before sleep, can activate the muscle-building mTOR pathway within hours, even in people in their 70s and 80s. And this is just the beginning. Because when your nerves begin talking to your muscles again, when the static clears, your whole system recalibrates. That's why people often say, I felt it in my legs first. The fatigue lifts. The unsteadiness fades. You rise more confidently from a chair. And no, this is not a placebo. This is your neuromuscular system turning back on. So how do you do it? Tomorrow morning, I want you to try something. Within 1 hour of waking, before you reach for the toast or coffee, mix yourself a small smoothie with 25 to 30 grams of whey protein isolate. You can add a half banana, some unsweetened almond milk, or a spoon of nut butter if you like. The point is not perfection. The point is activation. That 25-gram dose will give you the leucine you need to send a signal to your muscles. Wake up. Let's move. Then walk. Just 10 to 15 minutes. Around the house. Outside in the morning sun if possible. Why? Because light stimulates your circadian rhythm, and movement increases your muscles' receptivity to nutrients. Think of it like preheating an oven before you cook. You're priming the body for strength. And now, let's take it deeper. You've heard of neurotransmitters, chemical messengers that carry instructions in your body. But do you know which one literally tells your muscles to contract? It's called acetylcholine. Every time you move, every step you take, every moment you rise from a chair, acetylcholine is whispering the order. Now. Move. But here's the catch: as we age, our levels of this transmitter drop. And when acetylcholine falters, our muscles hesitate. Delay. Misfire. But the fix, again, begins in the kitchen. There is a single nutrient that your body uses to create acetylcholine. It's not exotic. It's not rare. In fact, it's sitting quietly inside one of the most ordinary foods in your fridge, the yolk of an egg. That's right. Not the whites, not just the protein, though those have their place. But the golden center, rich in choline, is what your nervous system craves. Choline is the direct precursor to acetylcholine. It's the raw ingredient your body uses to form that vital messenger. And here's the miracle: studies show that consuming 2 whole eggs in the morning can begin replenishing choline levels in your body fast enough to enhance neuromuscular signaling within 6 to 12 hours. That's not a theory. That's a clinical finding. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, feeling that familiar heaviness in your legs. That delay when you stand. That brief wobble as your balance recalibrates. And within half a day, simply by fueling your body with the right materials, protein and choline, you begin to feel more connected. Not just strong, but switched on. That flicker of delay begins to disappear. You feel more steady on your feet. And again, it's not magic. It's how your body is designed to work when given what it needs. I've had patients cry in my office, not because they were sad, but because they didn't realize how much of their weakness was fixable. They thought it was permanent. But it wasn't. It was nutritional, functional, correctable. There's something deeply humbling about realizing that after months, even years, of feeling like your legs are failing you, they were simply waiting for the signal. So, what does that signal look like in real life? Tomorrow morning, when you make your protein smoothie, add 2 whole boiled or scrambled eggs within 30 minutes. Do not fear the yolk. It is not your enemy. It is your medicine. Rich in choline, vitamin D, and healthy fats, all crucial for neuromuscular health. If you're plant-based, you're not forgotten. You can also get choline from soybeans, quinoa, and Brussels sprouts, though the bioavailability is lower. It may take longer. But your body will still respond. And when it does, you'll notice it first in the small ways. The easier step up the stairs. The steadier pivot as you turn around. The stronger lift when you stand without needing to brace your hand on a nearby table. These are not trivial victories. These are signs of reconnection. Signals becoming commands again. Muscles remembering how to listen. And you remembering that you are still powerful. But strength doesn't live in protein and neurotransmitters alone. It also lives in blood. In oxygen. In the quiet rush of circulation that nourishes your muscles from the inside out. And if there is one silent thief that steals leg strength faster than age, it's poor blood flow. Imagine trying to water a thirsty garden with a clogged hose. You can give it sunlight, soil, and care. But if the water trickles, nothing will grow. That is exactly what happens to aging muscles with constricted arteries. They hunger for oxygen, nutrients, and waste removal, but the delivery system is slowed, stiffened, narrowed. That's where nitric oxide enters the story. This gas, produced naturally by your endothelium, tells your blood vessels when to expand, when to dilate, when to flood muscles with the blood they need. But nitric oxide levels fall with age. And by the time most people reach their 70s, production has dropped significantly. Now here's the breakthrough: one food, humble, earthy, and easily overlooked, can boost nitric oxide production within hours. That food is the beet. Yes, beets. Especially in juice form. Rich in dietary nitrates that your body converts into nitric oxide, they are one of the most powerful natural vasodilators we've ever studied. In 2015, researchers published a study in the Journal of Applied Physiology showing that older adults who drank beetroot juice experienced measurable improvements in leg muscle power within 2 hours. 2 hours. Not over weeks. Not after training. But in the time it takes to finish breakfast and go for a walk. How? Because nitric oxide widens the vessels, accelerates blood flow, and enhances oxygen delivery, especially to your fast-twitch muscle fibers. These are the fibers responsible for quick, stabilizing movements, the very ones that keep you from falling, help you pivot safely, and climb stairs without grabbing a railing. So here is the protocol I've given hundreds of patients, and the one I now give to you. If your legs feel slow, heavy, or tired, try this. Roughly 60 to 90 minutes before your morning walk or light activity, drink 250 to 300 milliliters of beetroot juice. Or eat 1 to 2 medium-sized roasted or steamed beets. Pair that with a protein source, Greek yogurt, a whey shake, or eggs, and just observe. Then go move. Lightly. Gently. But with intention. A 10 to 20 minute walk is enough. The nitric oxide levels rise. Your vessels dilate. Your legs respond. Not just because of the nutrients, but because of the synergy. Movement signals need. The body delivers. It's not about supplements. It's about physiology awakened. And if sugar is a concern for you, as it often is with beets, combine them with fiber-rich foods. A handful of leafy greens. A spoon of ground flaxseed. Or simply eat them as part of a full breakfast. The glycemic load will balance, and the benefits will remain. What happens next, over the next few hours, is something I want you to experience for yourself. Because no explanation from me can match the feeling of looking down at your own legs and thinking, they feel alive again. This isn't about weight loss. Or vanity. Or even fitness. This is about reclaiming your place in the world. Your mobility. Your capacity. Your independence. And it doesn't end with nitric oxide. Because something else is quietly fighting against your legs each day, and most people never see it coming. It's not something you feel like pain. It's more like a fog, like gravity turned up by just a few %. It's called chronic inflammation. And it's one of the most misunderstood forces in aging. It's called chronic inflammation. And though you can't always feel it, make no mistake, it is there. Lingering quietly in your tissues, like a low, constant hum. Not the sharp, obvious kind of inflammation you get from an injury or infection. No. This is the kind that whispers. The kind that simmers just beneath the surface, day after day, year after year, damaging your cells, impairing your muscles, and robbing your legs of the strength they once held with ease. We call this inflammaging, the slow, creeping fire that accelerates decline not because of age itself, but because of the body's ongoing immune misfire. It doesn't come from one event. It builds. From processed food. From stress. From lack of sleep. From toxins. And especially from the absence of something crucial in the modern senior diet, greens. Dark, leafy, powerful greens. Spinach. Kale. Arugula. Swiss chard. Mustard greens. These are not just vegetables. They are anti-inflammatory medicine in disguise. And they hold within them compounds that modern science has only recently begun to fully appreciate. Polyphenol, chlorophyll, magnesium, and perhaps most important of all, quercetin. Now, quercetin isn't something most people talk about over breakfast. But it should be. Because this one compound, found richly in kale and mustard greens, has the ability to downregulate inflammatory cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha, the very markers that researchers now associate with accelerated muscle loss, weakness, and poor coordination in older adults. In 2020, a major study published in the Journals of Gerontology found that older adults with higher levels of CRP and IL-6, two key inflammatory markers, had significantly lower leg strength and muscle mass, even when their diet and exercise habits were considered adequate. This tells us something profound: inflammation doesn't just hurt. It holds your body back from healing. Now, here's what you may not realize. Adding just 1 cup of dark leafy greens to your first meal of the day can begin to lower these markers within as little as 2 weeks. Not just in theory. In practice. That means that before your body even has a chance to rebuild muscle, you are clearing the path. You are extinguishing the fire. And here's the key: timing matters. When greens are eaten early in the day, they help regulate your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, which governs not just sleep, but also immune function and inflammation. You're essentially resetting your internal thermostat, saying, "We're safe. We don't need to fight. Let's heal." Try this tomorrow. After your beet smoothie and walk, build a breakfast that includes sautéed spinach and olive oil. Add a soft-boiled egg or 2, or lentils if you're plant-based. Top with turmeric or black pepper if you wish. Add avocado or a splash of lemon for better absorption. This isn't a gourmet recipe, it's a therapeutic routine. Every bite signals to your cells that it's time to reduce the noise and begin repairing the damage. Because that's what we forget. Nutrition isn't just fuel. It's information. It tells your body what to do. And when inflammation quiets, something beautiful happens. You begin to recover faster from movement. Your joints feel less stiff. Your legs feel less weighed down by invisible burdens. And even your mind, yes, your mind, begins to clear. Because inflammation doesn't respect boundaries. It clouds cognition, dulls reflexes, slows everything. And as it lifts, people often say, "I feel more like myself again." That's not your imagination. That's your biology coming home. Still, there's one more piece to this puzzle that must not be overlooked, because even if you nourish, move, and calm inflammation, there is one habit that can either amplify or undo everything we've discussed. Meal timing. Yes, when you eat is almost as important as what you eat. Let me explain. When you consume protein, especially high-quality sources like eggs, dairy, legumes, or lean meats, your body activates a process called muscle protein synthesis. It's how we repair and grow tissue. But with age comes a challenge: anabolic resistance. This means that older muscles are less sensitive to the protein you eat. In other words, you might be eating enough, but your muscles don't hear the signal clearly enough to grow. The solution isn't to eat more in one sitting. It's to space your intake strategically. A groundbreaking study from the University of Texas in 2014 showed that when older adults distributed their protein evenly across breakfast, lunch, and dinner, their muscle building response was 25% higher than those who saved most of their protein for dinner. Why? Because each meal acts like a separate training session, a separate stimulus. It gives your body a reason to rebuild. So here's your action step: start your day with 30 grams of high-quality protein. That's your spark. That's the leucine-triggered ignition that tells your muscle, "Wake up. Let's grow." Then, after your mid-morning walk or light stretching, refuel. Even a modest meal or snack with protein and complex carbs, like quinoa and beans, or a protein shake with banana, can make a difference. This is called nutrient timing, and it's one of the most overlooked tools in the modern aging toolkit. And finally, in the evening, don't overload your plate with all your protein. The body can only use so much at once, typically 30 to 40 grams. More than that? It's either stored as fat or burned for energy. But when your day is structured, greens and protein in the morning, motion after breakfast, balanced meals across the day, something shifts. Your body gets into a rhythm. Muscles become more responsive. Blood flows more freely. Nerves fire more clearly. And your legs stop feeling like they're slipping away. You don't just survive your day. You move through it with grace, with steadiness, and with purpose. And isn't that the point? Your legs are more than limbs. They are your foundation. Your path to freedom. Your contact with the earth, your access to the people and places that bring you joy. They carry your weight, yes. But they also carry your dignity. And when you feed them, when you nourish their system's blood flow, neural connection, protein repair, anti-inflammatory defense, you are telling your body, I still care. I still believe in what's possible. Now, in this final part, let me bring it all together. Not with data, but with something more powerful, conviction. Because knowledge means nothing if it doesn't move us to act. Because knowledge means nothing if it doesn't move us to act. You see, every single process we've talked about today, the reconnection of muscle to nerve, the firing of mitochondria, the dilation of blood vessels, the quieting of inflammation, these are not miracles. They're instructions. Instructions your body has been waiting to receive. And now, you know how to send them. You don't need to wait until you're strong enough to get started. You don't need to wait until the timing is perfect, or until someone else gives you permission. All you need is to begin. With a single food. A single choice. A single morning. I've seen men and women in their 70s, 80s, even 90s, who thought their best days were long gone, who believed that the heaviness in their legs was permanent. And I've watched those same people rise, literally and metaphorically, because they began honoring their biology instead of blaming their age. They began giving their body what it had been asking for all along. And when they did, something remarkable happened. Their legs didn't just get stronger. Their spirits lifted. They felt rooted again. They felt capable again. And in many cases, they felt like themselves again. That is the power of real nutrition. Of clinical science. Of compassionate daily choices. That is the promise behind a smoothie made with whey protein isolate. Behind a plate of eggs and spinach. Behind the vivid crimson juice of a humble beet. Behind the sacred ritual of walking outside as the morning sun rises and your blood vessels open like petals to light. It is not just about legs. It is about life. Because the ability to move freely, confidently, and without fear, that is your birthright. And no number on a calendar should have the power to take that from you. So here is what I ask of you now. Start tomorrow morning. Don't wait. Mix that smoothie. Crack those eggs. Sauté those greens. Pour that beet juice. And go for that short walk. Not because you're trying to prove anything. Not because someone told you to. But because your body, quietly, reverently, is still listening. And it wants to heal. Because the truth is, inside you, beneath the stiffness, the fatigue, the unsteadiness, there is strength. There is brilliance. There is fire. The systems that have grown quiet with time are not broken. They are waiting. And with the right spark, they will return. So move gently. Feed wisely. Listen closely. And never, ever forget this. Your legs are not failing you. They are calling you. Back into your body. Back into your life. Back into your power. Now, go answer them. And if this message stirred something in you, if it gave you hope, or clarity, or even just a reason to try again, then I invite you to stay with us. This is not just a channel. It is a movement. One dedicated to restoring strength, dignity, and joy to every step you take, no matter your age. Because you're not done yet. And neither is your body. Thank you for listening. And if this message found its way into your heart today, if it gave you even the smallest glimpse of what's still possible for your body, your legs, your life, then I invite you to stay with us. This channel isn't here to sell you fear. It's here to give you tools. Real science. Real hope. Real steps you can take not someday, but starting tomorrow morning. So if you're ready to move with more strength, if you're ready to walk with more peace, if you're ready to feel like yourself again, then please subscribe so you never miss what could change everything. Like this video if it brought you clarity or courage. And share it with someone you care about, someone who might just need to hear. You're not too old. You're not too late. And you're not alone. We are here to walk this path with you. One choice. One step. One morning at a time. Thank you for watching. And until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and stay connected to your body, your breath, and the life still waiting in your legs.